I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
What?
You a dude that don't know what
Rank.
he is. Or are you a dude who has no idea what rank he is and claims to know what rank he is?
What is up? We are here at Adjust the Ranks. I am Jeremy Schulman at FF_Rebel. I am joined by Ryan Prosick, as usual, weekly here. And of course, we are just a couple of dudes who think we are some other dudes trying to get you ready for a mock draft. So we are excited. We are ready to go. Jamie is in the chat and in the draft, ready to go. If you want to join our mock draft, it is let's get the banner up, just half PPR standard stuff. The link is in the comments, and I'm going to post it again on YouTube. You can jump in. It looks like we have 2 spots remaining at the 11 and at the 12. So mock with us here. You will have to copy and paste that mock draft link there. Unfortunately, not clickable on YouTube, but we have 1 spot left. So we're going to start this up here in just a minute. Ryan, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm still figuring out the whole lighting thing. You know, it's a little rookie. Usually I just turn on these overhead lights above me here, and it's just clear to go. But, you know, I don't usually record in the daytime. But you got me here. I've been having a lot of fun on this recently every week. So we're going to keep it going. And this is the last week. I mean, yeah, I think I'll show up again, but in a different aspect.
You will. You will. But here's the thing, right? Is like, first of all, just so everyone's aware, we're doing our 30 mocks in 30 days. We have all different types of mock drafts happening for you. Of course, we've been doing this all throughout August. It's the last 3 mock drafts of our series. We have all sorts of things from what we're doing today, half PPR to full PPR. We're going to mock those out over the next couple of days. But we got, if you're on Yahoo, if you're on ESPN, if you're doing guillotine leagues, if you're doing Superflex leagues, we got all the redraft mocks for you in there. We also have a Discord. Jump in there for real-time advice, things like that. It's always in the description on YouTube of our videos. And of course, if you haven't used Fast Draft yet, you get a free $25 on us. Just use promo code FFU. Try it out. It's a fun platform. Wish I had more access to it here. But we are ready to go. We're full, and we're full of people from Twitter who actually follow. So hopefully we won't get people who are dropping out of these mock drafts as we've gotten in the past. But I think we are good to go, feeling good about this one. And just so we're very clear about this, let's make ourselves slightly bigger. Yeah, that'll do. This one? Yeah, why not? Just so we're clear about this, half PPR, we've got 12 teams in here, and you can see the roster settings: 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and 2 flex spots. We'll do 12 full rounds for you, and we will fire it up now. Ryan, you are drafting here from the I'm drafting from the 104. You're drafting from the 110 in a full PPR league. Half PPR. I'm all over the place here. What are you hoping to get at the back end of the draft?
I mean, you could look at Derrick Henry, you could look at Nico Collins. You want one of these guys with weekly positional 1 upside. And of course, round 1's easy to do that. You're not going to get the Jamar Chase, Bijan Robinsons as they go off the board, but you're still going to get a solid aspect, or a solid player in that aspect. So you want to shoot for ceiling, but at the same time, I wrote an article about this. You can win your drafts in round 1, but you could also lose them. I feel like it's not talked about enough that you could win in round 1 instead of losing. So you want to shoot for the moon with this pick, but there's a lot that go wrong in the back end of the first. A lot of injury concerns, and yeah, you see Achane. He's hurt. He's probably going to play still, but Malik Neighbors has injury issues. Puka Nakua's quarterback has injury issues. Christian McCaffrey we know about. So like round 1, the end of round 1 could prove to be disastrous for fantasy managers this season.
Yep. Agree with you, but the beginning of round 1, I'm here with about 8 seconds left on the clock. I'm going to do something maybe a little controversial. It's not controversial for me. I'm going to pass up Jahmyr Gibbs, the Derrick Henrys, the Christian McCaffreys of the world, and go with CeeDee Lamb. I just think the upside on Lamb is ridiculous this season. How do you feel about the Lamb pick early when Gibbs, Henry, Genty, CMC are still on the board?
Look, we've been saying this a lot recently. It's the top 5, and then the end of that top 5, you could rank however you want it. Yep. I mean, in half PPR, Gibbs might have been the choice, but he has been flexing out wide in camp. So, I mean, I like it. As long as you get one of those top 5 players, you're pretty much set.
Yep. And just to be clear, the top 5 are the top 5 who went in this draft, mostly in any order you like, but I don't think there's any argument now that it's Jamar Chase at the 101. But then Bijan, Saquon, Gibbs at running back, CeeDee Lamb at wide receiver. These are our top 5. Justin Jefferson is maybe the clear 106, but maybe it's Christian McCaffrey. Maybe you like Malik Neighbors. Maybe you're bullish on Ashton Genty. I can see all of those things happen for you, but that top 5 is there. Ryan, you did get Derrick Henry at the back end of round 1 at the 110. Who are you going with at the 203?
I mean, it's half PPR, so this heavily influences my choice. I'm going to go with Josh Jacobs. I think they're going to run the ball a lot in Green Bay. They have a crowded passing offense, but Marshawn Lloyd is down with an injury. He's going to miss some time, and Emmanuel Wilson's the backup, and I think they're just going to keep giving Josh Jacobs the work.
Yeah, this is completely fair. Chris Brooks is on the team. I think he was on Miami a while ago, I believe. And he's been like Matt Waldman. If you follow Matt Waldman, former scout turned fantasy guru because of the scouting, Matt Waldman loves himself some Chris Brooks. So I've known about Chris Brooks for a while. He took a fair amount of snaps. Do you think Chris Brooks factors in at all, or is it just Emmanuel Wilson behind Jacobs and that's it for you?
I think it's just going to be Josh Jacobs. It's going to be the Josh Jacobs show. I mean, it was last year. They have no reason to do that. They didn't restructure his contract, did they? Am I mistaken that they didn't?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, so it's a 1-year deal technically still, right? It's just options.
You're checking it out.
I'm checking it out right now. I mean, there's $9 million dead cap hit, but I swore that was so I remember a lot of people in the fantasy industry talking about it last year, that it was a 1 and just you keep circling over the options because they guaranteed money, but they can get out of this contract after this year whenever they want. So they're just going to keep running them. It's going to be a workhorse.
Yeah, fair. It's hard to argue that. I do not want Josh Jacobs over the likes of a Bucky Irving, for example, but Jacobs and Jonathan Taylor, I think that's a conversation. Jacobs and Chase Brown in half PPR, I understand it, and it's more of a safety with upside for me than extreme upside, although Josh Jacobs keeps proving me wrong year after year, staying as healthy as possible, catching a ton of balls. And like you say, he's the only guy in the backfield, so really hard to argue with that pick. If you look after the 203, it's Chase Brown, the 204, Drake London, Bucky Irving, Jonathan Taylor, Brian Thomas. I took Brock Bowers because I want an elite tight end. I know we're half PPR, but these tight ends score touchdowns, so give me Bowers at the 209, AJ Brown, Lab McConkey, then Kyron, Josh Allen, Tyreek Hill, still going in the 3rd round. Kind of ridiculous to me. Lamar, and then I'm back on the clock, and I think you know where I have to go in half PPR. I do not have any running backs yet, so as much as I like JSN, as much as these quarterbacks are enticing, I'm going to Marion Hampton here, and I'm just going to take what I perceive to be the elite volume. Najee is off the pup. He's available to play. Everybody's saying all the right things. I'll believe it when I see it, pun intended. What do you think about Hampton versus Najee versus some of these other guys in this range?
Look, I was going to ask you to talk me into Hampton because I took him in my home league last night. You know, RBs are a scarcity, especially in keeper leagues. Yep. So I took him at what would be the 402, I believe, with the keepers, factoring in. So I think he's set up for a monster year. I mean, Najee's consistent, but they're going to run the ball a ton. Greg Roman always does. 100%. So does Harbaugh. You spent a 1st-round pick on the guy. You're going to use him. I think that's the logic we've been using all offseason.
Yeah. And, of course, you lose Rashawn Slater for the season. That sucks. But you just plug Joe Alt in. You have serviceable pieces to replace Alt on the right side of the line. And I think the line suffers, but not nearly as much as it would have if it were like literally any other team that lost their best offensive lineman. So I think Hampton is still good. I think the Najee stuff is a little concerning if he comes back. He's been a volume hog. We'll see what the eye does. But yeah, Jamie's mad at me for taking Hampton. He's also mad at me for taking Lamb, CeeDee Lamb at the 103. Jamie is arguing there's a top 6. Jamie, I wonder if you're referring to either CMC or Justin Jefferson or Malik Neighbors in your 6. It's a top 5 for me. I think you can mix anybody in there. But let us know, Jamie, what you're thinking.
I think
Ryan,
Jefferson and CMC might be that next tier for me in like tier 2 or like tier 1.5. Then it goes to tier 2.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. So at the back end of the third, and Ryan is picking here in the fourth, but I'll recap the third, and then he can tell us about his picks. So after I take Omarion Hampton at 3-4, it's James Cook, Trey McBride, Alvin Kamara, JSN, TreVeyon Henderson creeping up into the back end of the third now. That's where he lives. At 3-12, a little early maybe. Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts, and you go with Kenneth Walker, T. Higgins, and Kenneth Walker. I love it. Tell us about it.
I mean, I typically get caught in these mocks on the channel on Thursday without running backs. I'm making sure that's not the case today, especially in the half PPR format. I mean, I love George Kittle. I love Ted McMillan this year. I love Chuba Hubbard. But Kenneth Walker, if he stays healthy, it's RB1 season. He's going to finish as probably a mid RB1 if he stays healthy. But it's just, can he? He's been kind of treated like someone tweeted out, I forget who it was. I'm sorry, I couldn't quote you, but a 30-year-old veteran this offseason with how much they're keeping him out. And that's just the truth. But if he plays, he's going to have a special year, especially with Sam Darnold and, the uncertainty in that passing game.
Yep. It's hard to argue with that one at all. 100% Sam Darnold, we'll see. But of course, that Clint Kubiak offense, they are going to run the football. I found myself in a tough spot here because I don't love Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson. I don't love James Conner, RJ Harvey in this position. So I just felt like I'm going to try it out. I don't love taking the double onesie here with a tight end and a quarterback early, but I do consider Joe Burrow a top 4 quarterback ahead of Jalen Hurts for fantasy. I do think he's throwing 40 plus touchdowns, probably closer to 50 this season. So I'm going to take him there, let a couple of guys come off the board, and then I'll probably in a half PPR. It's really hard to pass on Jameson Williams. Yeah, I'm not going to do I will pass on Jameson. I wouldn't normally, but I will do it to see where he goes. I will take Cortland Sutton in a half PPR, bank on those touchdowns. I really did want JMO, but let's see what everyone else is going to do and how far he falls. He's not going to fall too far. I think maybe if he gets to you, you might be taking him.
I might do it I'll do it for the exercise. I would. No, there we go.
There he goes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would have taken him if it wasn't for the exercise as well.
Yeah.
I think he's a smash. It's
stud.
I mean, all the offseason hype has gone towards him and Detroit. I mean, Gibbs as well, but it just feels like it's JMO's year to break out.
Yeah.
He was special last year too, so.
Yeah, 100%. He was absolutely special. Snipe Jamie again. Gotcha. On Sutton. I don't mind Sutton there. He usually goes kind of end of the fourth, but DK Metcalf was slightly elevated here. Harvey and Connor, because the running backs are going a little bit earlier. But if you look in the 5th round, we've been preaching this all offseason, all these mock drafts, Ryan. Sutton, DJ Moore maybe, but Jameson Williams, Calvin Ridley, your guy who you took here, Jalen Waddle, and then George Pickens. All of these guys are massive values here. So you ended up with Waddle, and you're on the clock next. Who are you looking to take here at the 6:03?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting because you see all these names on the board.
Yep.
And you see Rashee Rice just sitting right here. Not going to get him for like the first 6 or so games because I think you're only going to get him 3 times in the first 11 weeks. I think they're bye weeks week 10. I could be wrong. It's somewhere in there. But it's tough because I think I'd do that in a normal redraft league. But I'm going to go – where's he at? I'm going to go Emeka Egbuka.
Oh,
the hype. It's – I mean, Chris Godwin I don't know if you saw that about Chris Godwin. He might come back soon. Like I think Roto Baller said he's 2 to 5, but I don't think that's the case.
It's really hard. I mean, they didn't pup him, right? So or did they? No, they didn't. I'm trying to remember. They didn't pup Godwin, so he's available. But yeah, I don't think he's going to be around for any of September, but I think it's going to go like this. I think it's going to go Tampa decides, we're 3-0, Godwin can sit, and they're doing well. But if they start 0-3, this is a team with aspirations to make the Super Bowl. I don't know if they're going to do it with some of the heavy hitters in their conference, but at the same time, Yeah, I think depending on their record, it might force their hand here. So we'll see.
Look, we've talked all offseason about Chris Godwin, the injury, and rightly so. And we talked about Jalen McMillan when he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But there is, the unknown factor that Father Time could catch up to Mike Evans.
Yeah.
That could easily happen as well. So Ibuka has all these factors going, potentially for him to have a crazy rookie season, and it's just a smash pick at this point. I'm interested to see really how far Rashee Rice falls, though. I passed on him for that reason. It was a little bit of an experiment here.
Yeah, let's continue the experiment because, to be honest, I don't want in the seventh. Look, in the seventh, I'm okay with it. But I will do the same and pass on him because there's another couple of guys who I really like in this range. None more than Rome Odunze. I'm also going with the hero RB build. I don't love it in half PPR, but I'm taking guys who I think can score touchdowns and get yardage. So Hunter and Rome, happy with that, especially given the running backs with Caleb Judkins, who isn't going to play, Tracy, Brian Robinson, Travis Etienne left. So wide receivers of value. We've been preaching this all offseason as well, Ryan. Get your running backs early if you can, because wide receiver is the value in rounds 5 through 8. I want at least 3 wide receivers in that range. I've done that already, even though I have no running backs to speak of.
I mean, I like Tyrone Tracy in this range as he goes off the board. I think Cam Scadable's a day 3 guy. Tracy's already established. Jackson Dart looked really good in the preseason, so if he comes in for Russ, who knows what the ceiling is for that offense. So, I mean, that's probably the end of the range I like. Then you could take your shot on Jacksonville. I like that a lot. See, right now, at the 7-10, I would take Rashee Rice. I think he's the best pick left on the board. I'm not going to do it for, terms of the exercise. So I'm going to go – I might actually do it because the wide receiver is not looking too hot.
Do it.
I'm going to do it. I mean, he fell a little too far.
Agree.
Even in half PPR, it's the ceiling's just so high. He's missing all the tough games. Like you said, we had this conversation last week where he was going to dodge the suspension.
Right.
And now he's got it. He's going to miss the hard games. And he's going to come back for an easy stretch. So
his team looked at the schedule and they're like, wait a minute. They were like, you're telling me I can miss Philly and Baltimore? Okay, I'll come back in week 7 against Vegas. No problem.
I mean, fantasy managers are going to rejoice when he scores 25 PPR points against Vegas.
Absolutely.
It feels like it's just, you just got to get to the playoffs first. My home league, that I had the draft last night that I talked about, there's expanded playoffs there. So if it's a 6 out of 10 teams make it, you're going to want to reach on Rashee Rice a little higher because you're going to have that window to make it. Yeah, so you got to look at your league format.
Very true. Who are you taking?
I'm going to double up. I'm going to take Jordan Addison. This build may not work out in the early season, but later on in the season, you're going to have so much depth at the wide receiver position because Rashee Rice and Jordan Addison are going to be back, and they're going to be wide receivers 4 and 5. Sign me up.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. And if we're going to go and pull your team up here, you can see you have Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs locked in, T. Higgins, Jalen Waddle, and then Kenneth Walker, Emeka Egbuka, Rashee Rice, and Jordan Addison. You can play with those guys. Of course, Rice and Addison are both out for the first 3 games, Rice for longer. But yeah, it's going to be good. What you have to do is survive and advance. Try not to lose all your games in the first few weeks. Lock in that late tight end, that late quarterback, so that you can truly take advantage of it. But yeah, in fact, we're going to have an interesting discussion here at the end between yourself and myself. Half PPR, I'm smashing Mason here. But we're going to have an interesting discussion about whether we want to go, early quarterback and tight end or late quarterback and tight end, and depending on what you get here.
That'll be an interesting discussion. I like the Jordan Mason pick. That's the one mistake I made last night. That's the one where after the draft, I'm like, I should have done that because I had to pick at the turn because it was off last season's finish. So it was 9 and then, the next round second pick.
Yeah,
I was deciding between Travis Etienne and Jordan Mason. And I went Etienne thinking I could double up because Jordan Mason was a little bit down the board. And didn't turn out that way. Now, I think I'm going to regret that because if Jordan Mason gets the goal line work, I could see double-digit touchdown upside in his future. So
100%. Yeah.
It's the one I'm
I
really regretting. I didn't think I'd kick myself over like a 10th round pick, but here we are.
And what's nice about this draft too is it's pretty nice that number one, we only have one auto drafter in here, but that's fine. You're going to have plenty of people who are kind of going off of ADP, especially in your home leagues, guys who aren't as prepared as you are if you're watching this mock draft. But at the same time, it's interesting to see kind of the value that isn't remaining on the board. For example, I'm looking at running back here, and you can just see dried up pretty quickly. I like my guy Tank Bigsby, but it feels a little early for him. You got Big Bill there, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. You got Cam Scattaboo there. But in half PPR, I'm going to go ahead and take the swing, not on Bill, but on Austin Ekeler. I know it's probably Bill's world, but this is a fantastic offense led by a great young quarterback. And I really just think Ekeler is going to get the ball a lot more than we think. Why not run what is he, 31 now? He's 30 or 31. Just run the old man into the ground in what is for sure his last chance to win a Super Bowl here.
Yeah, I think maybe it's my Eagles bias. I don't think it is. But I think Washington's going to see some regression on the defensive side of the ball and on the offensive side as well. Of course, Terry's back, so that's great for, everyone involved.
Yeah.
But, Debo, who knows about him as a true second option? I think Austin Ekeler will get a lot of the work there. I think Bill's getting a little overhyped.
100%. I don't think he's super overhyped here in the 9th round of half PPR leagues. That's not so bad. But when you start reaching into the 8th, 7th, 6th round in full PPR, it makes absolutely no sense to me. So after I take Ekeler at Shakir, it's Big Bill going to Big Game James, Keon Coleman, Colston Loveland, Drake May, and Ryan. You are on the clock.
You know what
Did
I'm
you
get
sniped?
No, I did not. You know who I'm taking.
Wait. Oh yeah, take him. Do it. Yeah.
There it is. Kyle Pitts.
Let's talk about Kyle Pitts. Nobody wants this man except for us. A few people do, but talk about why Kyle Pitts is going to have a slight resurgence, at least in production this year.
I mean, we've talked about the coach speak. We've talked about the depth chart. Darnell Mooney, still uncertain for week 1. He's going to be the second option in the passing game unless, Bijan Robinson catches more passes than we expect, which would be absolutely insane.
Yeah.
He's just going to be one of the guys for Michael Penix. Michael Penix has talked him up. We believe in what he is saying. And, tight ends don't typically break out till later. We've been absolutely spoiled with people like Brock Bowers and rookie year, Sam Laporta, that the expectations for these tight ends are through the roof. And it shouldn't be that way. I mean, it's probably going to be that way for Colston Loveland and Tyler Warren. If they don't smash this year, you're probably going to be able to get them at a discount next year in Dynasty and Redraft. It's just how it is. We want instant production, especially since, Travis Kelce is reaching that age cliff. So you got the top 3 guys. George Kittle's about to hit that age cliff as well. So it's about to be the top 2. So we're just looking for the next big thing at tight end. And you got to wait sometimes. I mean, Njoku took how long? What was it? 5-6 years to break out, and he looked really good. So I think this is year 5 for Kyle Pitts, and they declined his option. So we'll see how it goes.
Ryan, you got 10 seconds. Are you going to double up on tight end, go quarterback, or somewhere else?
No, I'm going to take a quarterback I don't really like, but it's value.
Yeah. I mean, Kyler after Drake May. It's crazy.
I think Kyler is good for fantasy, but I think he is holding back, not Trey McBride. Well, actually kind of Trey McBride with the touchdowns. He's also holding back Marv because you look at Marv's rookie year and objectively it was good. But like I just said with the tight ends, we were spoiled with end of season Brian Thomas. We were spoiled with Malik Neighbors all year, earning what felt like 15,000 targets through the first 4 weeks. And then, of course, you got Ladd McConkey as well. The rookie class was sensational, but the top guy just didn't produce. Yeah. So I think Kyler's holding them back a little bit. I think Marv had a better rookie season. I'm in on Marv this year at ADP. Went in the mid-4th, it looked like. If Kyler getting the ball, I mean, I think Marv is better than what he put on the stats last year.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that. And we're going to see, you mentioned Trey McBride as well. We're going to see if these guys are able to live up to their ADP and what we expect from them. My guy, Tank Bigsby, came back around to me. So very, very happy to get him. If you were in this draft and following along, click the link there because we are going to be kind of reviewing all of your teams. Also, if you are or not, feel free to ask us questions. We're here to answer all sorts of fantasy questions after this draft, in addition to recapping it. So go ahead and plug it into the comment section here in YouTube, and we'll get to your questions. So let's take a look at the 10th round. It was Javonte Williams, followed by Juwan Jennings. You ended up with Kyler Murray. Ollie Gordon going in the 10th. I don't know if I love it. I don't know if I hate it. Of course, Jalen Wright now having a procedure done that's going to keep him out of, that's not season ending, but going to keep him out a while. Careful of that. Jared Goff, Dak Prescott, Michael Pittman, always a value there. Jaden Higgins, not so sure about Higgins. We'll see. Tank Bigsby, Cam Scatterblue, love that value on Cam. Nick Chubb, Brock Purdy, Dalton Kincaid, and coming back around. Ryan, as I make my selection here in the 11th, in the last round, 2 or 3, not my pick, not your pick, but pick out someone here who was a good value.
I mean, I think it's Ollie Gordon, if I'm being honest. Achane, if he gets hurt, there's no one else in that backfield. They're signing people off of waivers. It's going to be Ollie Gordon's backfield. The preseason, he was great. You know, the production profile was there. They're arguing about Ollie Gordon in the chat right now as I can see it out of the corner of my eye. I saw you don't know ball.
You don't know ball. Let them know.
It's getting a little serious in there. I'm gonna back away from that, but I think Miami's gonna be, you know, their defense is not good. We've talked about it in the past. Yeah. If Ollie Gordon gets those goal line touches, I think 10th round is perfect value.
Yeah, that's fair. Especially like we said with Jalen Wright now on the shelf for who knows how long, but a prolonged period of time. What about Najee Harris in the 11th? Are you comfortable with taking a flyer there? He seems to be going in this range now because of all the uncertainty. Are you comfortable with Najee in the 11th, or are you just staying all the way out?
I think I'm staying all the way out, but at the same time, if he doesn't play, you could just cut him in the 11th. So like, I don't really hate it. It's not a pick I'd make, but it's not a pick that I would sit there and be like, okay, I'd do something different. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, absolutely fair. We had Justin Fields also go in the 11th. Love that value because Justin Fields can be a top 5 quarterback any given week. And hey, if he can somehow string together, 20 touchdown passes over the course of the season, he could be a top 5 quarterback for the season if he remains healthy. So it was Fields, Shaheed, Najee Harris in the middle of the 11th, followed by Bashal Tutin, Luther Burden, a couple of rookies. You ended up with Burden. Jake Ferguson, supreme value. I think he's clearly the number 3 target, but a high volume passing offense. Love him there. Keenan Allen, Christian Kirk, and it's coming back around to you. Tell us a little bit about Burden and who you're going to pick next.
Look, it's kind of like the Jacksonville backfield that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
I want someone in the Chicago wide receiver room, at a good ADP cost, whether it's Rome, who you picked earlier, DJ Moore, who went early in the draft, or Luther Burden. Yep. I want a part of this receiving room because if this offense with Ben Johnson goes crazy, you're going to want pieces of it. And except same with the Jacksonville backfield, you're going to want that starter because he's going to produce with Liam Cohen. So you want to take these ADP chances. And that's why I picked Burden, because if he starts in the slot, he could potentially eat, but I want a piece of this offense, and you got to get him late sometimes.
Yeah. Don't hate that. You got 10 seconds left, and you took Ray Davis. Tell us about Ray Davis.
This is just a pure handcuff play. I mean, James Cook, we thought for a while wasn't going to get that contract. It looked like the holdout was brewing. He got the deal eventually, but still, Ray Davis was absolutely phenomenal last year in his rookie season. He's going to get on the field in certain scenarios. So I think Ray Davis is one of the best handcuffs in the league. I don't think he's the best, but I think he's top 5. I think that goes to Charbonnet, honestly, if I had to pick someone. Yeah. But
damn it, Jamie. Damn it. Jamie stays taking my guys. This is the one guy I was going to talk up here, because Dylan Sampson, I think we've talked about this a ton, Ryan, with of course, Quinshon Judkins yet I think it's just clearly Dylan Sampson. He's far too low in drafts. Take him around earlier than this. Get him in the 11th to make sure you get him on your team. Yeah.
Definitely. I agree. I mean, you want a starter in the 12th round? I'm all for it.
100%. I wanted him, but I'll settle for a sleeper rising up my sleeper board here in Marvin Mims. All of the reports lately are saying, and if you watch the preseason, it has bared itself out. Marvin Mims is the second target on this Denver Broncos offense. It's not Pat Bryant. It's, Evan Ingram is really the question. So he's the second receiving target. I believe in Evan Ingram, certainly. There's some people who don't think Marvin Mims is the guy over Ingram just because of his advanced age. I think that's a bridge too far, but Marvin Mims in the 12th, when Dylan Sampson, when Braylon Allen and Ray Davis are off the board, I'll take that every time.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's just, you're hunting for value, and in the 11th and 12th round, you can easily cut these guys, like I said, if they don't produce early season, and get those, hot waiver wire claims that will propel your team into the championship. We've seen it with Bucky Irving. We've seen it with Alvin Kamara. There's always these guys. Puka Nacua as well last year. So, or that was 2 years ago, wasn't it? Gosh, time's getting away from me.
Oh,
at this
yeah.
point. Time's getting away from me. But there's always these guys that are waiver wire winners. And so just take some upside shots. If they don't get the role that you want in the first 1 or 2 weeks, cut them and get that waiver wire gem.
Absolutely. All right. So we will go over this draft in just a second, but we have a few questions in the chat. If you are watching us now and you have a question, throw it in the chat. We'll answer anything. If you are in this draft, talk to us a little bit about your team and we'll go over yours as well. Let me get Ryan's mug so he's not completely covered.
I'm getting Mike Wazowski'd.
Let's see.
It's the Monsters Inc. tag that keeps on running.
Oh, hey, that worked. Look at this. All right.
That's pretty nice.
Would you trade Cooper Kupp and Austin Ekeler? I'm just going to say yes. Don't even read the rest of it. The answer is yes. For TreVeyon, yeah. And
you're also getting kicker one as a throw-in.
Yeah, well, 100%. No, I don't know, though, because was he kicker one last year?
I believe so.
Because
he was kicking all those 70-yarders, it felt like, 67.
Well, here's the issue, right? Dallas couldn't move the ball last year. The running game was stagnant. They were having issues on the offensive line. Defense was not good, but not horrific it will be this year. Well, but here's the thing, right? Is like kicker stats aren't consistent year to year, and this team is going to score. Like they're not going to be able to run it in, but it's Dak, it's Pickens, it's Lamb, and it's Ferguson. I love the Dallas offense because I think they're going to put up a ton of touchdowns. But so that limits Aubrey, but I don't care about Aubrey in this scenario. Just go get TreVeyon Henderson and profit. Yes, do it. Same thing.
Yeah. 200%. I was just trying to find something to talk about. It's such an easy trade. Yes. I do it without Aubrey in it, but Aubrey just feels like if you don't have like a solid kicker, if you've waited to the last pick to pick your kicker and pick like kicker 9 or 10, hey, I'm just saying.
Yeah, 100%. Do that trade 10 times out of 10. Arturo jumps in and says, I start my draft CeeDee, Lamar, and Achane. Is that good? Yeah, you done good, Arturo. Well done. Hopefully, the rest of your draft is just as good. Achane in the 3rd. What do you think about that value with the concern about his calf injury? They say he's ready for week 1. We know calves can turn into Achilles. What are your thoughts about Achane?
Feels like a subtle flex of a comment. I appreciate it.
Slightly.
I mean, jump on the injury, I wouldn't say, disinterest. I'd say disinterest because the values of these guys keep going down. It feels like, look, you're playing to win. You're not playing to not lose. And if you get peak Achane in the 3rd round, they might have to start handing you that trophy a little early. I don't know. You got to stick the landing though.
That's a W. We see some comments in the chat. We're going to get to run through the draft in a few minutes. Did Tech go at the 404 in this draft?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So guys are in the chat. We're going to go through the teams as well, but we're going to go in order. Jamie says, roast my team, but not yet, Jamie. We're going to talk about the 108 and the 112 first. So let's go through the 108 is Buffalo something. Goes Genty, Drake London, JSN, George Kittle. Love that start. Tony Pollard is rising up boards. But Genty, Pollard, Tracy, and Najee, a little light on running back in half PPR. But the rest of the team is super solid. You got Bo Nix, you got Stephon Diggs and Jared Goff, Colston Loveland, Brandon Ayuk at the end. Crazy, crazy value here. What do you think about the team at the 108?
I kind of love it. I mean, you're getting all that value with Genty and Drake London up top. George Kittle, every tight end that went the top tier of tight ends, Bowers, McBride, and Kittle were all massive values in this draft. I don't know what happened. I guess we just decided to ignore the tight end position. I mean, I did, but you got Bo Nix as well, who could be a solid, mid QB1. Tyrone Tracy, I think he wins that backfield. I'm not a Cam Scatterbo guy. I guess it was the draft capital. I don't know entirely what has me out on him. I think it's like the profile as well. Yeah. Diggs could be the wide receiver 1 in New England. Colston Loveland had incredible college stats. I love this team. I'd give that an A.
Yeah, Jamie's I like it. I'm going to go B+ only because I'm not sold on the Pollard, Tracy, Najee RB2 situation. I think Pollard is fine, but he's older. Tennessee is not going to be a good team. So I'm not as sold in the 5th on Pollard as, say, for example, if it were a Pacheco or even a DeAndre Swift, I'd feel a lot better about that just because of the team situation. But it's hard to argue Tony Pollard's going to get all the volume. So I do like the team.
I think he made the right picks. I wouldn't change anything at the top there. I mean, you could go Bucky Irving or JT over Drake London, but I really like Drake London this year. And I'm taking Kittle over Hubbard 20 times out of 20 times. So
yeah, I mean, well, Kittle at the 405. I mean, how could you pass that up? That's ridiculous value.
That's crazy.
Well done. Once again, we'll get to all of your questions, but we're just going to go through these in order. As Jamie said, the 112 as well. Here's the 112 team. It's Christian McCaffrey, followed by Nico Collins, Breece Hall. A little concerned about Breece Hall, like everybody, but it's Jaden Daniels, Xavier Worthy, George Pickens, Evan Ingram. Love him. Caleb Johnson, Josh Downs, Javonte Williams, Keenan Allen, and Christian Kirk. How do you feel about the 112?
Look, I'm not sure on Breece Hall either, but I do want to mention that my home league last night, he went after DeAndre Swift. Like that's where it is. That's where his in the 6th round. That's where his value is. I was too busy taking Tet, so personal bias. Yeah. But I like it. I like it a little less than Team 8 that we were talking about, just because the RB depth. I think I like on Team 8 a little more. I like Pollard and Tracy more than I like Caleb Johnson, Javonte Williams, and potentially Breece Hall where he was picked.
Fair.
But you have an elite quarterback with Jaden Daniels. Wide receiver 2, the first 6 weeks of the year, you're going to get Xavier Worthy just putting up numbers with Patrick Mahomes. George Pickens is a value. I like it. I'd probably give it a B+.
Yep. I'll go B because I went B+ with the other team, and I do like team 108 a little bit more. Let's get to Jamie's team. Let's roast his. Jamie taking from the 106. Justin Jefferson, Jonathan Taylor, Trey McBride, Terry McLaurin, David Montgomery, Zay Flowers, Matthew Golden, Travis Etienne, Big Bill, Merritt, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, Michael Pittman, Justin Fields, and Dylan Sampson. Jamie was telling me that I sniped him early. He sniped me late with all those picks. What do you think of Jamie's team?
I think it's pretty decent. I'd probably say the Trey McBride value really carries it. In the middle of the 3rd is kind of ridiculous. I think he's the middle of the 2nd kind of player.
100%.
But, I don't like his middle rounds as much. I mean, Zay Flowers is a great pick. I'm not a Matthew Golden guy. I'm probably going to get proven wrong this offseason or this season.
I think you will.
I think I will as well. I'm not a Pittman guy either, but Etienne and Krosky Merritt is your RBs 3 and 4. I love that. I'd say B+ as well. I mean, I don't hate it. It's hard to hate any of these drafts. They all look like they're pretty good. So
yeah,
I'll say B+.
Everybody was in here doing their best. David Montgomery, I think he's a value, but Zay Flowers for me in the 6th, I just can't do it. Jamie knows this. Over guys like Travis Hunter, even Olave, over Judy Roma-Dunze. I'm putting Zay Flowers at the bottom of that list. He just doesn't catch the touchdowns. I think he's got a career high 5 touchdown catches, maybe less. So Zay Flowers for me is out, especially half PPR. That's really my big concern there. Otherwise, love some of these early picks, love some of the later picks. And Justin Fields, Trey McBride, you're rolling that out every week. B+ easily. I might go A. Let's talk about the 111. Eugenio is in the chat. Thanks for waiting. At the 111, we got Puka Nacua, CeeDee+LJax+Achane at the 202. Not bad value. We just heard CeeDee+LJax+Achane going in the third from another commenter a few minutes ago. Mike Evans in the third, 311. Jalen Hurts, Devonta Smith. You got a stack there for your Eagles. Isaiah Pacheco, Deebo Samuel, Quinshon Judkins at the 802. Could be a value, could be a nothing burger. Jaden Reed with the Jones fracture at 911. He's going to play through it. Woof. Juwan Jennings, Jake Ferguson, Braylon Allen. I like these players. I'm a little concerned about the situations they find themselves in. What do you think about the 111?
I mean, like we said, you're playing to win and playing, not playing to not lose. Or I'm confusing. I'm confusing myself in a moment.
You're the dude who thinks he's another dude.
Exactly. I got confused by the intro. I mean, if Matt Stafford plays the whole year, Puka Nacua is an absolute value at the 111. It's just there's a lot of question marks with this team, but Mike Evans at the 311, I mean, I'm okay with that. He's probably going to have another 1,000 yards and catch 15 touchdowns again because that's just what he does. It's kind of ridiculous at this point. I like the stack there. Devonta Smith is more talented than I think as a football player than the rest of the round in front of him. It's just, is he going to get enough work as a Philadelphia Eagle wide receiver with Saquon Barkley in the backfield? Pacheco, he's coming off that foot. And then Judkins might not play. Who knows what's going on with him? If he plays, he's a crazy value in the 8th round. But I think this might be a B to B plus for me. It's kind of tough, but if these guys play, they're going to be great, and it's probably going to be a contender in the league. So that's why I'd probably give a B plus as well. I'm giving a lot of B pluses today. There's not a lot of bad drafts in here, if any.
There aren't bad drafts, but I'm going to give this a C plus simply because of the risk issues that you highlighted, right? Puka Nacua, for me, the risk issue is Matthew Stafford. Is he going to be able to hold up to the hits throughout the season? So Puka falls to the early second to me. We took him here at the 111 ahead of a guy like Christian McCaffrey and Nico Collins. I'm not doing that, but I can understand it. CeeDee+LJax+Achane, another risk factor with the calf injury. Is that going to turn into Achilles? Will he be out? So we already have situations. Mike Evans, is he falling off? Devonta Smith, is anyone else going to get hurt so Smith can go off? Isaiah Pacheco, right? Deebo Samuel on a new team. Quinshon Judkins. There's just too much risk on this team. So like you said, it can all pay off. But the problem is when you take on this much risk, the issue is you need a lot of things to hit. Personally, I want to mix some risk with some safer guys. So, for example, instead of taking, after all of this draft, instead of taking Deebo at the 7-11, maybe I take a guy like Stephon Diggs instead of a Deebo. That way, I know I'm kind of locking in, volume, whereas Deebo is the clear-cut second target on his team. Hopefully, I don't think there's any competition for Steph Diggs as the number one. All he needs to do is stay healthy. So that's kind of how I choose to balance that at the 111.
I'd probably say B looking back on it. I'm giving out too many B pluses. Good thing I'm not. Good. I feel like I'm like the automated draft creator that turns out B pluses to everybody.
Let's move on to Eat It James here. So took Ted at the 404 because he wasn't making it back to me. That's not outrageous at all, and I'm not going to roast you for this pick at all. No. We both love Tedero and McMillan. At the 404 over Kittle, I can't do it. Over Chuba, yeah, I can do that. So really, for me, I got to take Kittle there, but otherwise, I have no issue with where he went. From the 109, it was Amon-Ra, Chase Brown, TreVeyon Henderson. TreVeyon Henderson went early, but he might have come back to the 404, but you got your guy
back to the 404.
He wasn't coming back. Nice. You got Tedero McMillan at the 404. Calvin Ridley, Ricky Pearsall, Zach Charbonnet went a little early. For me, that's the early pick that I don't love there. But Tucker Kraft, Drake May, Ollie Gordon absolutely crushed those picks. Bashal Tootin, take your shot on the Jags backfield. I don't mind that at all. And then Kyle Williams to finish it off. What do you think of the 109 draft here?
I mean, I'm giving this an A. I think Ted at the 404. I mean, I like Kittle more. I keep bringing up my home league. I had the pick. I picked Amari in Hampton, or I picked George Kittle in the first with the keepers. And then in the second rolled around at 402, and I was contemplating picking Tet there. Luckily, his ESPN ADP is a little low right now, so I got away with it. But I was thinking of picking him over Amari and Hampton, so I love the pick. I think he's going to eat. I mean, Adam Thielen just got traded. Jalen Coker, Xavier Legette, and Tet are the starters. I think Tet's going to get – I don't even want to put a cap on his targets. It feels like 130, 140. It feels like the range for him this year, especially if they get behind.
130, I think.
Yeah, because the defense just isn't quite there yet. They have some pieces, but they still need another offseason of work.
100%. I
think Tet's absolutely going to eat in this offense. Calvin Ridley, I think Cam Ward is the least talked about first overall pick in the history of the league. Honestly, he hasn't get any buzz. The rest of his offense got cut yesterday. I saw that. Restrepo's done, and other pieces got cut as well. He went first overall. He's crazy upside with Calvin Ridley. And then Ricky Pearsall is like the only guy there, it feels like, at this point. Him and Kittle.
Listen, this may be the most well-balanced team. Instead of Charbonnet, I'm going to go ahead and take my shot on Rashee Rice. If I really feel like I need a running back there, I might reach on a Mason or an ETN. But I'd probably go Evan Ingram or take Kraft there. And then see who falls to me. But it's really hard to fault this one. I won't go A+ on it, but I agree it's an A draft. I want George Kittle. And James seems to agree, miss Kittle. But hey, it is why we mock. But listen, if you miss Kittle and you still get the A, it's hard to argue with that.
If it's on ESPN, you could wait, though. ESPN has him at 65, I believe.
Crazy.
So he was he's moving his way up a little bit. He was 70 last week when I did a mock on there. But you could potentially grab Kittle and then swing around and get Tet in the next turn. So
yeah, that's mid 5. So that's like the 5-5. It's like the 5-5. That's wild value on Tet. Make sure you don't miss out on that. We got a few more things going on in the chat. Chill showed up, asked a question. So Chill, thanks for being patient. I know Jamie's in there handling you, but let's talk about this. What is up? Dynasty trade. Let's talk a little Dynasty. Trading away Josh Downs. This is a smash. Goodbye, Josh Downs. What do you think?
Look, I love Josh Downs as much as the next guy. His metrics are incredible. But 2027 has the chance to be the monster draft that we all think it is. Maybe there's a chance Arch comes out this year in 2026 if the Rams somehow get to pick one. But I don't think that happens. You're going to have Arch. You're going to have Lagway. If it's super flex, you're going to have Jeremiah Smith. You're going to have Ryan Williams. If you could get it for guaranteed early to mid and potentially smash Jeremiah, it's so easy.
Yeah, but also look at his wide receiver room. You still got Ladin BTJ. You still got Terry McLaurin. You still got Jerry Jeudy, J-Mo, Adunze. Trade 2 more of these guys. Trade the guys that are hypiest. Like trade like a Terry McLaurin if you can, and a Ricky Pearsall or a Rome Adunze. Trade kind of the hypey guys because you got Lad BTJ and J-Mo till the end of time. And you got your 27 first locked in. I'm trading at least one more of these guys. Who would you trade of the rest?
I mean, if you're getting first round picks for Josh Downs in this economy, I mean, what can you get for one of these other guys? I'm okay with trading away any of these guys to get the right return. Of course, I'd hesitate to do it with Lad and BTJ, of course, but
you got to keep them.
You got to keep them unless you get the mammoth returns unless you get like a Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson return for Brian Thomas Jr. a little bit below that for Lad and Conkey, then I'd consider taking it. But
what if you package BTJ and like Pearsall and you can try and get up to who would you get up to? Nico?
I'd do that. I'd keep Brian Thomas Jr. I mean, Nico feels like the safer pick, but
yeah,
I think rookie Pearsall is going to get a ton of targets early, and you could trade that production early in the season for another 2027 one if he pops off a week because he's going to be a young wide receiver, one of the only targets in San Francisco with this whole Jawan Jennings fiasco. He wants out, he wants a new deal. So I think Luther Burden's the hold. Lad and BTJ are the holds, and then you could shop around everyone else besides. I'd say J-Mo's a hold too.
Not
so I'd shop.
You got to hold J-Mo.
Yeah, I'd shop Rome after a couple of weeks because he might be the number one. He's been getting a lot of buzz, and then Pearsall and then Jeudy if Flacco feeds him because Flacco's the starter now. So you just locked into that scenario as well.
Yeah. And if you're light everywhere else, or especially a running back, like I would be if I had this wide receiver room, go ahead and get yourself a running back or two and compete now. Yeah, his metrics are good, but he's still got Daniel Jones throwing him the football. So that's my concern. Go get the first. I doubt anyone would give up a first for Downs. I agree with Jamie, but you can. I might take a second. Wide receiver 1 in his outcome. What do we think about the long term? And I'll just throw a few of these stats or a few of these comments here. His metrics, crazy win rate. Sure. The first is worth that much more. Yeah, we were both saying that you take the first and you run. That's the issue here. And of course, Jamie is referencing that. Yeah, if it's early to mid, you hope for Jeremiah Smith over Ryan Williams. Who else is? Would it be Arch? I would assume, as well.
Yeah, Jeremiah. Wait, what'd you say? I didn't.
I'm assuming Superflex, so I'm wondering who's in the top of the 27th. I assume obviously these two guys. We got Arch. Who else are we looking at?
It's Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams, like he said, and then it's Arch. It's DJ Lagway out of Florida. You want to chase that upside. We've seen it burned with Trey Lance and Anthony Richardson, but if Lagway puts it all together at Florida, it's who we put at the 5th. Maybe Ryan Wingo. It's tough to get that 5th guy. The top 4 feel cemented, and then you have other quarterbacks coming out. I gotta do a quick refresh on that. I'll get back to you real quick.
There's
one guy that I'm missing.
Will be 28. Yeah. Brian?
Yeah. What?
Yeah. DeCorian Moore would be 28.
28, yeah. He's a freshman. Yeah. He's a true freshman this year. That's who I was forgetting. I was forgetting Dylan Raiola at Nebraska. That's who I was forgetting.
There you
go. He could be up there. So I think 2027 is loaded. That's my bad. I'm feeling the Thursday shenanigans. I'm getting leading into Friday.
Hey, I hear you. Jamar Chase in trade talks. Ooh. He wants Ladd and JMO for Jamar Chase. Smash. Send him Ladd and JMO immediately. Do it.
You're just waving goodbye to his whole wide receiver room at this point.
Yeah, but I
would too.
And he's got Jamar Chase, BTJ, Rome, Pearsall. Like, do this. Do this immediately.
Oh, yeah. 200%.
Yeah. And then he's saying he doesn't want to move BTJ. No, you don't need to. If you can get Jamar Chase for Ladd and JMO, I love those players. Give me Jamar Chase. Give me the wide receiver 1.
Yeah, 200%. It's just such an easy move.
Pretty straightforward stuff. Let's wrap this up, Ryan, by just talking about our teams. I will go first because we will save the best for last. From the 104, I went CeeDee Lamb, Brock Bowers, Omarion Hampton, Joe Burrow. I don't love to go early tight end and quarterback, but I feel okay about it because Sutton, Hunter, Odunze, followed by 4. I was hoping for 5 running backs, but it was Mason, Ekeler, Bigsby, Benson, and then ending it with Marvin Mims. I don't feel super comfortable about my wide receiver, about my flex positions, but otherwise I do like my depth. I do like what I have on my bench, and I do like my 2 starting onesie positions at Burrow and Bowers. I'll give myself a B+, just simply because I feel like I'm a little handcuffed by taking those 2 positions early.
Yeah, but it's for the better. I mean, you spent your resources properly. That's one thing that drafters have to do this offseason. You want to spend your resources properly. You don't want to get caught in a scenario like I do every week where my running back 1 is Tony Pollard or David Montgomery. You don't want to get caught in that position because your league mates are going to look at your roster and they are not going to trade you a running back for anywhere near what that running back should be valued as. They're going to want your whole roster and some. So you got the hero, and then you went Mason, Ekeler, Bigsby, Trey Benson. You tried to solidify that 2 position, with a committee of guys. So even if you have like this committee, it's still not going to be viewed as, he has nobody at running back 2, because one of these guys could fill in. You could play the matchups week by week, maybe tank Bigsby, Austin Ekeler, or Jordan Mason outright, win their jobs.
Yeah.
It gives you possibilities there. So spend your resources wisely. And I think a B+ is a great grade. I might border on A because it's like, I like how you built your team, because that's how I build my teams. I try to get that elite quarterback. I try to get that elite tight end. And then I just fill in from there.
Yeah.
Maybe I would have picked Rashee Rice over one of those guys.
Yeah,
that's
fair.
probably you did it for the exercise. So
I did say I was going to take Rice at the 704, so that would have made me feel a lot better. I think it depends what you feel about Hunter and Adunze for me on this team, because I'm fine with the running back 2 being whoever emerges from this group, or maybe a combination of guys. But it's really the Hunter Adunze. I just don't know if that's going to be consistent week to week. I believe in both of these players, but who knows if it's going to happen this year or next year truly for them. Do we get the Rome Odunze year 3 breakout? I think that's more likely than him coming on as much as possible this season, just because of all the weapons. They have to figure out who they're going to keep for next year. And then Travis Hunter in year 1, getting used to the speed of the NFL. He's a freak for sure. But there's just a lot of question marks there. So what I could have done is I could have gone someone like Fields down here in the 11th and instead taken, maybe James Conner, maybe an RJ Harvey.
I like the Burrow pick though. So
yeah, the value is there. So it's hard to argue with that. I'll take the B+ and be happy with it. Ryan, take us home with your draft from the 110.
I mean, I picked Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs at the 1-2 turn, half PPR. They're not going to get many targets, but they're going to get a lot of rushing attempts, and they're going to get a lot of touchdowns. So I love those picks. T. Higgins was just my top wide receiver left on the board. I didn't want to get caught without one, because that's a mistake that people make in draft seasons. You get caught without these guys. Like I said, it could be running back, could be wide receiver, could be running back, could be tight end. I mean, you could see people pick 2 or 3 quarterbacks for their roster, especially in home leagues, before you have your first guy. And you kind of don't want that to happen. It's a little different here, but I love my wide receiver depth. T. Higgins is a wide receiver 1 when he 100%. Plays. He's got some injury concerns, but by the time he's getting those injury concerns, I think Rashee Rice and Jordan Addison will be back. Or at least Addison will. And then Ibuka will probably emerge. So I like my depth. I'm okay with quarterback and tight end. It's just kind of tough how it fell the way it did, but I'm okay with Kyler. Not a big fan. Especially, not as big as fan as I am as Kyle Pitts, because I think the breakout's happening. It's coming. Yeah. But I like my team. I'm going to give myself an A. I'm usually honest with myself, but I really like this team. So,
yep, I think it's definitely A worthy. And I just threw up your roster here in the middle so we can all see how it shakes out. So you got Kyler, Derrick Henry, Jacobs, T, Waddle, Pitts, Walker, Egbuka. And then your bench is Rashee Rice, Jordan Addison, Luther Burden, and Ray Davis. So I do like that. I'm going to go B+ only because Kyle Pitts is really that question mark. We like him at value, but will he return on that value and then some? That really is the question. Kyler is also a question, but Kyler is a guy who can be a top 6 QB. He's got to be out there and healthy. He's got to learn how to throw touchdowns. He forgot that last season. But I think Kyler should be okay. This defense is going to be good as well. So they have the rushing attack. So we'll see how Kyler ends up. But I love the value that you got. And like you said, as soon as you insert Rashee and Addison into the lineup, your lineup's going to be exploding weekly. So you hope you can survive that long. I think you can. Good work there, sir. Eugenio is here. He needs help with his dynasty team. He wants to sell Saquon Barkley. Eugenio, we're going to vamp here for a minute. Just throw your team in the chat. Let us know who you have so we can kind of give you some ideas. Saquon is a good chip. Let's first start, Ryan, with let's say we're not competing. If he's taking over a new dynasty team, then maybe he's just kind of rebuilding. What are you looking to get for Saquon picks-wise?
Saquon is, in my opinion, one of the hardest dynasty players to evaluate in that format, because his return is probably not what you're going to get in points this season, because he's probably going to be RB 1 or 2 or probably the lowest 3 if he plays the full season. So it's tough to really gauge value because of how old he is. And, he did get the contract. He has the perfect situation. He's had some injuries in the past, though, which is scary. And, dynasty managers take that into account. I'd say in terms of picks, you're not going to get 3 for him. You're not going to get 3 ones, but I'd like an early one. And I'd like an early one in 26 or 27 projected, but it's hard to get an early one when you're sending a team Saquon Barkley. So true. It's really hard to do a proper valuation. Like, you might have to take 2 late seconds in a player, or 2 late firsts in a player. Not taking 2 late seconds for Saquon, but too late first and, a mid-tier player, maybe if you're lucky, a Luther Burden or a Matthew Golden, that top of the second round type player.
Would you take too late first and Jordan Mason?
Probably not, but I think that might be the offer you have to settle for. And it's tough because if Saquon gets hurt one more time, this dynasty value is going to go probably into the toilet. And you're holding a top 3 round startup guy. And if he gets hurt, he's probably round 9, round 10. If it's a serious injury, hopefully that never happens, but you just got to account for this stuff in dynasty, especially on a rebuilder.
Yeah, we're assuming, Eugenio, I can't see what you posted. This is all I got from you. Give me 1 second, and that's the best I can do. But let's talk about this, Ryan, for Saquon Barkley, while Eugenio tries to figure it out. What are we, trying to do in terms of players? Let's pretend that we have a rebuilding roster, but nobody's given up picks in this league. What do you do trying to turn Saquon into in terms of a younger asset player?
Yeah, that's a great question. Also, he could probably comment his team on the comments of this post and we could find it.
Yeah, you can just literally write the names of your guys.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the board right now. I mean, the values that stand out.
Let's throw it up again.
If you could get if someone's panicking in a contender, Rashee Rice is sitting right there. If you get him with some picks, I'm pretty open to that. Hopefully, all the stuff is behind him. I'm looking at someone like Rome Odunze as well. So one of these mid to late round guys that maybe has caused some panic with, stuff off the field or on the field production in his rookie year, as Rome Odunze did. So maybe something like that with some picks, but you said there's no picks. So it's really tough to deal Saquon Barkley. I'll admit, would you do a Marion Hampton straight up if you're rebuilding?
No, I wouldn't. I would want more. I would say, what if you paired Jameson Williams with a Ricky Pearsall? Maybe somebody, the other team had a glut of wide receivers that we were talking about just a few minutes ago. Would you take 2 younger stud wide receivers from a team who was wide receiver rich when you need that running back? How does that work for you? JMO and Pearsall for Saquon.
I wouldn't personally. I would need more, but like I said, I don't think you're getting more. I think that's the peak of what you're going to get, a value wise.
Yeah. And
it's just so tough because he's arguably worth more. You're not going to get one of these top tier guys straight up unless the contender is ultra desperate. But
yeah, I mean he's 28 years old, right? He's got tons of wear on his tires. We've seen him break down previously. So that's really the concern. Rusty is saying it here, absent of injury. Yeah. Will he be able to repeat what he did last year? He'll be close to it. Will Saquon be able to score 15 times? I don't know. 13 on the ground, 2 through the air. But at the same time, is he going to come close to it? I think so. What do you think about Saquon before we get to Eugenio's full team here?
I think he's going to get at least close. The tush push really hampered what could have been the greatest running back season of all time. I forget. I mentioned it before. I think it was he got down 15 to 20 times on the one. Absolutely ridiculous. It's just the way the season shook out, and then Jalen Hurts, of course, took it. But I think he's going to repeat. I think a high RB1 season is, coming his way again. And, most dynasty managers know that, but they know the age. They know the injury concerns have been in there in the past. Of course, there's been some fluke injuries, like when he stepped on that Cowboys player's ankles, and then, his season was basically cooked there.
Sure.
But it's just so tough to get a proper return. I think he's the hardest one. I honestly believe that.
It's tough.
Because when you offer for him on a contender, you're going to want more. The picks aren't going to meet you halfway. I offered this might be a low ball. I didn't know what his value was. I offered James Cook in a late 2026 first for Saquon, and I got the door slammed on me pretty quickly. I don't think it was enough, but
Yeah, if it was a late first, I see. If you could offer maybe push that up to a mid first, I would consider it. If it's an earlier first, yeah, I hear you. But let's answer this question, and then we'll get into Eugenio's roster situation. 345 rushing attempts, 2,005 yards, 13 touchdowns, all on the ground. Saquon had 43 targets, caught 33 of them, 278 through the air, and 2 touchdowns. Touchdowns aren't super sticky, but can you see more than 33, 278, and 2 through the air for Saquon? Maybe he doesn't produce on the ground like he did, but can you see him get an uptick through the air in this offense or no?
I don't see it, especially with how it's run. I mean, Jalen Hurts is on his 6th offensive coordinator in 6 years, so
yeah,
it's maybe Kevin Patullo runs the offense a little bit differently, but I think he's going to take a lot of the aspects of Kellen Moore's offense and just copy and paste it because it worked so well last year.
Sure.
So I don't see it, but he's a fantastic receiver, and I wouldn't doubt it if it happened. And I'd just be like, okay, they just decided to give him the ball more. That's basically what it comes down to. It's if they decide to do it and they get him some looks in the receiving game, and he's obviously a capable receiver. He had that excellent end zone catch. I think it was against Jacksonville when it was a wheel route. Mm-hmm. He was going crazy that game. That's when he jumped over the person backwards. I mean, he's incredible.
Stud. Absolute stud. Eugenio, thank you for waiting. Let's run through this. I have 2 posts here, so let's wait for the second one and we'll talk about it. Talking about getting rid of Saquon. First of all, let's talk about if he's competing or not. And then let's talk a little bit about Saquon deal. So he's got Russ Wilson, not great. It looks like, let's assume Superflex. Just let us know, Eugenio, if you're 1 QB or Superflex, because you list Cousins there later. But Russ Wilson, Saquon, Kenneth Walker, Malik Neighbors, Cortland Sutton, Quentin Johnston. You got Jatavian Sanders, Emeka Egbuka, nicely done. Tyler Bass. You got the San Francisco D, not bad, not great. You got Eugene Wilson, Blake Corum, Kirk Cousins, Jaden Blue, Jaden James, Alec Ayamanor, like that. You also have Big Bill. Who is that? Taj Brooks. KLS. You got Keenan Allen. You got Ray McLeod. You got Tyler Conklin, Parkinson, Johnson, Baltimore D. So defense, you're fine. I think it looks like wide receiver-ish. I'll pull up the first one in a second. You look okay. Yeah, it's really tough. I guess it depends how many you're starting here. But I think really at quarterback and at tight end, you were deficient, so you were not competing. I would either make trades to upgrade those positions because Barkley, Walker, Neighbors, Sutton, Egbuka is really nice. But yeah, and then you got Bill in there if you need to supplement. But I'm concerned. I don't think this is a super competitive roster. So yeah, trade Barkley, trade Walker, trade what you can.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you trade Barkley, you're shipping Kenneth Walker out. You're shipping Cortland Sutton out.
Yep.
Quentin Johnson, if you get anything for him. Maybe Bill. I'd do that if you're shipping everyone out, because this is probably his peak of his value, unless
Keenan Allen
as well. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, tight end, I like JT Sanders, but the depth behind him isn't that great. So I think you just use a little more. I think you ship it off, you keep Egbuka as your wide receiver 1 or your wide receiver 2 behind Neighbors.
Yep. And
then you just try to get as many picks as you can, clear it out, get some young talent. But it's hard because Saquon Barkley, your league mates know that you're probably not on the competing end with this roster. So they're going to try to fleece you. It's just, the way the fantasy game goes. But Saquon has to be your first move.
Yeah.
Because if you dump Walker or Cortland Sutton first, they're going to know. And they're going to try to get Saquon on the cheap. And
sure. Well, so this is interesting, though. We got 1 QB. We got 3 wide receivers, right? And so we got Sutton and Neighbors locked in. And then we have, maybe Keenan Allen. Maybe, let me pull it back up here.
If you put a Egbuka from the flex, because that looks like Johnson's a starter.
So what's crazy, though, is that in 1 QB, you can go out and get a QB relatively easily. Maybe this team is just a big tight end trade away. Maybe if you trade Barkley, can we get an upgrade at tight end like significantly and then throw in a quarterback, or is it just not worth it because the running backs behind Barkley aren't enough to make it work?
I mean, this team, if someone goes down, it's basically done. But
Agree with that. Yeah.
I mean, you could argue that you could flip Johnston and Ibuka and then put in Bill or Keenan Allen in the flex spot. And you could talk me into it a little bit, but Russ at QB is just doesn't scream contender. I mean, there might be someone on waivers.
Yeah, well, that's the question here. Maybe there is someone at waivers. The thing is, I believe this is Dynasty, right? So we're inheriting a Dynasty team. So the thing is we're not. Well, it's unlikely that waivers are super deep. You might be able to steal someone off of waivers at the same time. I think you're just going to have to break it down. Russ to Neighbors. I think Neighbors will be fine. What's Russ's ceiling case this year? QB 16?
I'd say starting the whole year. I'd keep it at that.
Fair.
And his floor is getting benched for Jackson Dart by like week 7.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even put QB numbers on that. I just put he starts or he doesn't.
Yeah. QJ, absolutely not. With Keenan Allen in town, with Ladd, with
but he has
what they
Keenan
want to do
Allen,
running the football. Yeah, I can't QJ it this season. So I just can't do it. So Eugenio, good luck to you. We're well over. Just Spencer Rattler. Yeah, you're going to have to make a deal. That's why we think you should break it down. Saquon, Cortland Sutton out the door. Keenan Allen, trade them all. Play for a year or 2. Hopefully it works. Good luck, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. This has been a half PPR redraft mock. Mock number 28 of 30 mocks in 30 days. We've been here all August long. We've been here all off season long doing this stuff. Ryan's been on the show at least once a month since January, throwing down the knowledge, doing underdog drafts and stuff. We are the fantasy football universe. We are over on X. We are over on YouTube. We are on TikTok. But specifically, this 30 mocks in 30 days series that we do is available to you. And whether you're doing guillotine leagues or you're on Yahoo, you're on ESPN, all of it is there for you to kind of sort through and get a sense of how you can mock. We'll be here again tomorrow at this same time at 3 p.m. Eastern to mock with you. We'll do a PPR 10-man league, so feel free to join us there. Join us on our Discord. The link will be linked in the description of this video when it's done, but you can go back to the video for the live video from yesterday and grab that description of the Discord. Just talk ball with us. Get all of your questions answered at the drop of a hat. We are there 24/7. And of course, if you haven't tried Fast Draft yet, use promo code FFU for free $25. Ryan, thank you so much for joining us. Where can people who are seeing us for the first time find you?
Yeah, I'll be writing at fan tracks and the league winners this season. I'll be back here probably at some point, maybe to talk dynasty trades. Who knows what the schedule's looking like after you complete this incredible 30 mocks in 30 days. Congrats to you, man. I don't think I had the wherewithal to do that, but I appreciate it coming on every week. But yeah, I'll be writing. I'll be doing DFS work, looking into matchups weekly, stuff like that, little roundup. So I'm excited. We're so close. What is it? 8 days or no, it's 7 now. It's 1 week.
It's less. Yeah.
1 week till I get to watch the Eagles hang 40 points on the Cowboys to link. I can't wait.
They will do that, by the way. So listen, thank you so much again, Ryan. I am Jeremy Shulman. We are, I'm Adjust the Ranks, but we are also the fantasy football universe, the double FU, the FU times 2. I'm an expert consensus ranker on Fantasy Pros. I am writing columns for them every once in a while as well. We've got Essie Romero, Jesse Moeller, and a bunch of guys doing Devy content, doing Dynasty content. That's Dynasty Dogs. Rich and Mike Spencer Buckley is in there as well. So a bunch of guys over here at the FFU. Ryan always on with us all the time, who can give you the information you need. So on YouTube especially, but also on Twitter, if you like this content, if you find value, please like and subscribe. We're also live. We're putting out daily content, but we're live Saturdays and Sundays. Saturday is the FFU Roundtable, where we just discuss topics. It's a great forum for you to ask questions and us to discuss them. Sunday, 90 minutes before kickoff, is our Start Sit show. So we are here for you. So please, once again, if you like this stuff, jump in, let us know, and we appreciate you joining us. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, everybody else. Until next time.
Nice work, everyone. Sharp broadcast. Really good. Everyone on the floor as well. Really a lot of hustle. I liked it.